I'm drawing a blank on this girl's name. She works for Timcast and she has a monkey. Is her name Cassandra Fairbank?
Yes, McDonald, Cassandra McDonald.
Yeah, she got married, right? Okay,
yeah.
So
Monkey lady.
I was trying to look up some information on a story I wanted to tell you about. I thought it was like an open secret. It is kind of around here, but I can't find anything on the internet really along these lines. And there used to be stuff, so you'll see what that's worth later. But so OHSU is a hospital in Oregon. It's way up on this big hill. It's a weird place to have one because you got to go through this like windy small road to get up there anyway. There's a facility that is next to it. It's called the Oregon National Primate Research Center, and they do like maximum pain torture tests and all kinds of stuff on monkeys up there, but it's all kind of hidden off. And it's funny because you guys were talking about deers. I'm going to tell you my dad's experience. He was a flagger late in his life, and he told me about his few days that he worked up there. And on the way up this, it's like, green and very foresty, and you're going up the side of this hill, and there's signs all over the place that start saying that under federal penalty of law, you cannot look the deer in the eye. And he was always like wondering what that was about, like why would it be a law you can't look a deer in the eye? That seems strange. But so to work at this facility, when you get there, you have to put this powder stuff all over you, and it's supposed to, I don't know, disinfect you or whatnot. And basically he's with an eye shot of stuff, but he just needed a road flag for a project they were doing.
Is that like a delousing, you mean? Like that shit they throw on you before they admit you to prison?
This yellowish powder they would spray all over you with this little gun thing, and then you had to really get a lot of it on your shoes, and then they'd blow off the stuff off your shoes, and then you'd get in your car. But before you entered next to your vehicle, you had to be like decontaminated.
Okay.
So he's sitting there flagging, and he sees this. He said that they did everything from like the loud sounds to like continuously, pretty much anything you can do. Spray him down with water continuously. He could see some of this stuff that was going on. He doesn't know what was happening inside the building, but there's outdoor like cages or places where you can see from outdoor there too. And he told me that they brought this cart across this crosswalk thing about 30 feet from him, and they had two monkeys on a cart. One was like sticking out of it, all legs sticking up and stuff. He's obviously like dead, stuffed in there. And the other one was on a cart, but he said as they were going across this crosswalk, like an arm or a leg, I don't remember which, fell off the cart. And like the dude picked up the thing, and they sprinkled some powder around, and they kept going, And he ended up getting refused the project because he wouldn't take all these weird vaccines that they wanted him to take, and so he only spent a few days up there. But when I looked it up at the time, there was a lot more information about it. Now there's like nothing. So I was wondering if any of you talk to her regularly, if you could let her know like what I said in this story, see if she's aware of it all. Because my dad said the stuff that was going on there was like horrific. Like you could hear him scream and just go nuts, and they're spraying him down with hoses and flashy lights and loud music. It's like, and that's what you could see from the outside. You can only imagine what's going on indoors,
Yeah, that sounds like they were doing like biochemical testing on these things. The constant need for delousing people to make sure that they're not getting these like contaminants on their skin, the massive amount of vaccinations that they're requesting is because they're probably injecting these things with seriously contagious shit, for lack of a better term. And it's probably one of those things where they want everybody that's working there to hold up some kind of immunity to it. But, that's super sketch too. I think your dad made the right call on that one.
Right next to a huge hospital too. It's a crazy place to have it. But, anybody that has pets would know, like, you can do your best to control fleas and stuff, but those things are gonna happen. So what if the ticks are getting onto these monkeys and stuff, and then getting onto our deer, and that's where we're seeing some of this crossover between, viruses that are coming from some of this
Now
stuff.
that's totally possible. Like, don't look the deer in the eye. That is so weird. I've never, like, what could possibly be going on that you don't want eye contact with a deer? What would that do? It puts them at ease.
I'm wondering about that too. Like, that's very interesting that's like a thing, because they say shit like that with like bulls and stuff. Don't make eye contact with a bull, but a bull is gonna turn its head down and it's gonna gore the shit out of you if you offend it.
Maybe it scares the deer, like they think of you as a predator, a threat. If you and they run
I don't know.
Traumatizes the deer.
It seems like there might have been more to it than that, though. The way that he's kind of describing this area,
and the way when you said that they dropped the monkey arm on the ground and then they went over and they powdered it up, they deloused the area where it hit the ground. That's like, okay, so these things were shedding contagiously, like physical contact. So if these stories are true, certainly leads me to believe if like what he is telling you he actually saw is really what he saw, then sounds like a
my dad was completely no nonsense. Like he wouldn't exaggerate the size of a fish or any of that stuff. He was very like matter of fact, like it especially to me. Like I 100% believe he saw what he saw. And then there were other flaggers. There's got to be other people that knew this, but like I said, at the time when I looked it up, there was all kinds of like stuff. And now when I look at the reports, it's just talking about like basic controversy and like this one accident where they accidentally put two monkeys in a cage washing machine, stuff like that. Like, but very little from PETA or any of that. And it's it's not the first time. Like, do you guys remember back with the Boston bombing? They had that party bus. I think it was like MSNBC. It rolled through one screen and then it rolled out the other. And they were sitting there pretending that one was in New York headquarters, one was on the ground in Boston. And that revealed that they're full of crap because it rolled right through. And it was determined they were probably like 15 feet apart.
Yeah, I think I remember that exact thing.
Go ahead.
I remember either that exact thing.
It was a really viral video.
Yeah.
And then it's just gone now. You can still kind of find it some places, but I tried to look it up and it's really hard to find.
Yeah, because they probably pulled all record of it from there, because that's an identified mistake that a news network made. That you see a lot of this shit on the news where it's like, yeah, reporting live from inside the hurricane is Jessica Schultz, and it's just her standing in front of a green screen. One of the greatest things about HD and 4K and everything that we've got going on now is you can tell when something is green screened. It is so fucking obvious that something is green screened now. So it's just helping uncover all the bullshit that a lot of these news agencies and stuff have been throwing at us for years without us knowing, that we think all these people are live on the scene, live at the White House, live at the San Francisco Bridge. Bullshit. You're standing in the same studio next to this guy with a green screen behind you. Just fucking admit it. So I don't doubt that at all.
They built Joe Biden a tiny desk in a fake White House.
Yeah, I remember that. I wonder if they shut down a lot of the news about this place in where was it? Northern Washington State? Is that where it is?
We're from Oregon. So Oregon. OHSU is Oregon Science University. It's tied to the Beavers. If you're into college football, the Oregon State University, they feed it a lot and stuff. There's a kind of a nursing college feed system going on there. But
I don't know when the data started to disappear, because you're telling us the story now. But Fauci with the dog experiments where they uncovered they were like putting their heads in botfly cages and letting botflies, beagle faces, and that was such bad PR for Fauci, and that I think it was National Institute of, was it NIDA or whatever it was, his company, his organization. So maybe they're just trying to be like, let's get rid of as much. And then of course the COVID thing with him working out of the bat flu thing, controversy thing in COVID, Wuhan. And then they're just like, we got to get rid of as much of this as we can, because if the sheets get taken off of this situation and Fauci and his cohorts get revealed for the amount of experimentation they've been doing, you were calling it maximum pain experimentation on non-human animals.
That's what they explained it to him. Everybody had to wear these like tracker watches. He passed away, so I can't get more details from him. I'm just going by what I remember. And I was trying to pull up details, but there just isn't nothing anymore. But I did find that depending on which figure you believe, they said there's like 100,000 in the U.S. for research purposes every year. Other figures say we bring in 10 to 12,000. I don't know what the real number is. I don't think we'd ever get a real number from that we could really go with. But there might be there might be millions of animals that are in the U.S. that are going through this kind of shit in weird, undescript like lab places. But monkeys, man, that's crazy. You know, they're so like us, and if
Yeah.
they're experimenting with diseases, you know, then
It's unfortunate because they are the closest to us
Dude,
on the evolutionary chain. It's fact.
I saw this video. What are you gonna say?
Well,
I'll tell you a tangent
it
about
just
monkeys
sucks
after.
because that's why they're being tested on in droves and shit like that, is because it's about the closest you're going to get to testing on a human.
I saw a video. I was like, it's just stuck in my brain. This is pretty like war trauma video, PTSD, where this African tribe is hunting this baboon, and they have like a GoPro. They're having you along for the hunt, and you get to watch the video. And they're chasing this baboon, and they chase this baboon. And they get him up against a tree, and they like stab him to the tree. And the baboon, you're like face to face, and he's just looking at the guy in his eyes, screaming, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Totally aware and confused as to why the people were gang attacking this guy, and it was like they were lynching a human. Is what it looked like. It felt like for a moment, and then they killed the monkey and ate it, and that's what their plan had been. But
I think monkeys, you know, they understand that, you know, the dog eat dog, but
A lot
put
of
something in
species
a
do.
cage and, you know, do that stuff to it. Or the beagles, for instance, they slit their throats. They didn't have to hear them, you know, yell.
Yep.
Like that's insane. But hey, do you mind, before you guys don't have a lot of time, if I can bring attention to like a YouTube censorship thing that's going to require a little example?
What are we
Oh, for
talking
sure.
about here?
So, just comment censorship.
what have you noticed?
So basically, if Brandon, if we had a brand new video and there was no comments on it, you know, you got to set your stuff to newest first and whatnot, and then Brandon went in and put a 1 in a comment, any comment you choose, but we go in the replies, and Brandon puts 1, then Ian puts 2, and then I put 3. What I'm going to see on my end is 1, 2, 3, and we can repeat it. And then what you're going to see on your end is 1, 2. And if we were to do it again, you'd see another 1, 2, but my 3 would be missing from that comment section altogether. So it's showing it to me like it's like everything is fine. But on other people's phones, if they look under that, my comment is invisible,
Like
always,
redacted?
and it's every
Yeah.
single one. But it still gives me replies like I'm still involved in the comments section. It still updates me with all the activity, except it's like a ghost. And I notice it's happening on every cell phone that's on my plan. So it's not just my email or tag or whatever. It's related somehow to my cell phone plan. Because my dad's and my son's, I pay for those, and they were the same way. But my girlfriend has her own plan. Hers isn't like that. So I played this experiment where I can get 3 people next to each other, and then comment, and then watch it show me all the stuff, but not them mine. You know what I mean? So it's like a one-way mirror type of thing. So there's people out there that are commenting, and everything on their end looks totally normal.
Yeah.
Like it's a mirage that it's all normal, but you are ghosted from the world. I watched it develop over years with algorithms, but I've never been warned. I've never been contacted. I've never had like anything. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. And
It's,
they reserve the right to do
I encourage people
that.
to test it and see where you're at, and see if anybody else is having that experience.
Most platforms reserve the right to be able to do that too. It's like refusing service for not having a shirt or shoes on or something at a gas station now. It's that literally they've made it that simple. Somebody in chat had it right. I seen it just a second ago. Let me see if I can find it. Jampan. He says it's called a shadowban. Is basically what it sounds like you're experiencing. Now I don't know if they're doing this per carrier, per phone plan, anything like that. That's a way above my head, but I do know that does happen to some people. And why, I don't know. I don't know if it's just because of things that they've posted before that, if there's at some point where they're just like, okay, we're putting a ban on this guy for like 2 months. Let him sit there and think he's interacting when actually none of his shit's going out there. I mean, I think it kind of sucks. You know, I think if you've broken some kind of like code or, you know, some kind of privacy rule or something like that, you should at the very least be notified, you know, if they're going to be doxing your account or, you know, fucking with anything that's going to make you think that you don't have that outreach still. At the very least, you should be warned, you know?
I went through those stages where you could see no interaction on comments for like a week, 3 weeks, month, and they would pop back up. But the strange thing is them completely faking the mirage to make me think everything is. I'd rather them just say you can't comment or something like that. But actually, what I think it was, strangely enough, from your earlier conversations, was I was saying that Vegas was, anytime you mentioned Vegas, it was being deleted, like no matter what you did. And I was like, what? And that was early on in it.
Yeah, with
and
the
then,
algorithms. Yeah, I remember that.
So I think talking about the Vegas thing completely like it like put a tag on me that didn't come off.
That's completely feasible. I mean, that's totally feasible. Yeah.
That's interesting
Well,
too.
yeah, there should be a way to like know if you're blacklisted, because it's like going to a restaurant. Obviously, they can deny you service, but if you sit down and your service is given, then as long as you don't violate the rules of the restaurant, they can't just take ingredients out of your recipe for it and not tell you.
Here's the other side of that too. It's one of those things where every now and then, and we're speaking metaphorically now with this restaurant situation, maybe next time you come back in disguise and see if you get served then. So create a different account, if possible. Try to test that out, see if they're still dicking you. Make sure that if you're registering your account, you're not using the same emails or the same phone numbers as you use for your other account, because they put all that shit together and they match 2 and 2 and they say, okay, this is the same guy trying to create another account. So
yeah, no, I'm a troubleshooter. I'm a journeyman mechanic. So I went through a methodical process to try to like figure out where all that stuff was at. And there is there's no creating an account. It seems to be deeper, like tied to credit information.
Yeah.
So
you saying that it was your phone number is interesting, or that it goes deeper. Sorry to interrupt there.
My son doesn't comment on YouTube, so there was no reason for him. My dad didn't know how to comment, so there was no reason for his account to have any sort of weird thing. But being that I pay for them all and they're all on my thing, then it's everybody's using different numbers, different emails, those things.
Yeah, gated per account.
Hey, you guys are out of time. I just want to say, Ian, I've watched you for years, man. I know you get a lot of love and hate, but I love you, dude. I see you. Brandon, I got to know, can you put a hat counter down at the bottom and we could just, as it goes by, we can know how many you own? I used to be a sneakerhead and I had hundreds, and I know you got some hats. And
you don't get to see my shoes. I do the same thing with shoes. This is just a thing that me and one of my buddies did back in Chicago. Super shoe nerds, and I was more into flat build hats when I came out here, so that was my whole thing. Is I'm just gonna wear Chicago sports hats, things that I'm a fan of from back home, and just rep the city. I'm leaving it on you guys to count how many hats I get. I get new hats every week now. I'm not playing games with this. I love my hats just as much as I love my shoes, which every now and then maybe I'll lift a foot up or something, let you guys see. But I also do the same thing with my shoes.
I like those.
It's too bad you guys can't get stuff mailed to you. I understand the risk to you, but I make custom hats. I made one today called No Goombas. It's got a little brown Goomba. It's on a brown coffee brown hat, but I can make you anything that you needed. I just couldn't get it to you. I'd make it for you for free. And
I would totally rock it, bro. I would totally rock it. Obviously, yeah, we're not allowed to have things sent to us at the compound, so that's another issue. But I mean,
it relies on each individual artist to get their own PO box and set up a fan mail thing, pretty much.
Yeah,
the way it's set up now.
I want to look into something like that.
Go through those packages, and you could be TSA for semi-celebrity mailing or something.
I got to get a robo-taxi to do
Cashman, if you're listening, hope your boy gets better, man. God bless everybody, and thanks for your time today.